Let's begin today's Vanguard news with the new ride line introduced for Dragon Empire in DZBT02 because Vaga Dragries is too expensive due to now Enabes Imps and Overlord meta sheeps overpricing the entire deck. Baby Dragon Andra is your typical D-series starter that is 10 times way better than Sunrise or Surprise Egg in design. Also note that this new ride line introduces a new race called Synchro Heart Dragon, which, spoiler alert, doesn't really do anything yet. Flameblade Dragratagrai while on Vanguard lets you ride Synchro Heart Dragon Andra from your ride deck without discarding a card if your soul has Baby Dragon Andra. And while on rear guard, you can put himself to rest position at the beginning of your battle phase while you have a grade 3 or higher Grai Vanguard to let one of your Andra rear guards be able to attack from the back row and get 10k power. Those hoping to use Kargaflan as a cheaper cycle card alternative because they didn't invest on Dragratafar got screwed over, since you want all of your ride line cards in your soul. Synchro Heart Dragon Andra while on Vanguard lets you ride Drag Connector Grai Andra from your ride deck without discarding a card if your soul has Flameblade Dragratagrai. And while on rear guard, it gets 5k power during your turn if you have a Grai unit on the field. Just like with the grade 1 ride line, you want all of your ride line cards in your soul on top of running copies of the ride line cards in your main deck, seeing as you want multiple copies. Drag Connector Grai Andra while on Vanguard lets you put himself to rest position at the beginning of your main phase to call up to one of each grade 2 or lower Grai and Andra cards from your soul. Then this unit gets a once per turn auto ability that lets you put an attacking Andra unit and a Grai rear guard into your soul at the end of the battle. Your Andra rear guard attacked to stand this unit and all your front row units get 10k power. On top of being a dual race unit, this card might as well be a Dark States unit as well, with all of the technical gymnastics you're doing with this deck, just so you can call cards from your soul and get 10k power on your front row. Expect this card to make all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Weebs to make synchro summon references when performing this card's ability. Drag Resonance is a normal order card when played, gives your Vanguard a once per turn auto ability that gives all your front row units 10k power when it stands. Introducing the nation's latest best harvest card for any deck that has a standing Vanguard like Overlord and Vaga. The fact it doesn't have a cost or restrictions makes me wonder if Bushiroad has a bias towards Dragon Empire order cards. Renserad Griffin while on rear guard gets 2k power, then you can pay 1 counter blast to retire one of your opponent's grade 1 or lower back row rear guards when it attacks or boost while you have an Andra Vanguard. This card might be useful against decks that like to rush early game, since this works on your grade 2 ride turn. Melt Knuckle Golem when placed on rear guard lets you pay 3 energy blast if you have a grade 3 or higher Grai Vanguard to draw a card. And while on rear guard, it gets 5k power when your Grai or Andra units attack while your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher. This card can get up to 15k power from just doing what the deck intends to do. Meanwhile, certain Lyrical Monasteria decks can do similar power scaling without having to wait for the opponent to be at grade 3 or higher Vanguard. Cannonball of Dust Storm's Axes while on the front row rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast at the beginning of your battle phase to give 5k power to either a Grai or Andra unit. Then draw a card if you gave power with this ability. And while on rear guard, he gets 5k power when your Grai or Andra units attack while your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher. So Eugene has decided to outsource his troops to other groups. And like with Melt Knuckle Golem, this card can get up to 15k power. Finally, get ready to bang your dreams once again, as the Japanese version of DZBT02 will have the Bang Dream Critical Trigger collab. Not only will they reprint the older bands, but this will also add the Mygo band into the mix. While I did go on record to say that this was one of the best collabs Bushiroad has done, since it does not intrude the game with random collab decks and mechanics, while giving players a reason to buy more product. Reprinting the older crits is a greedy tactic on Bushiroad's end, as it dilutes the pulls for people who only want the Mygo crits, while also potentially lowering the price of the older bands, especially if this is a one bang dream crit per box issue again. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments which Yu-Gi-Oh! Summon mechanic is Dragon Empire going to rip off next.